just a few weeks away from football season. I'm so excited about that. I know everybody is. Crews over at State Farm Stadium working to make sure everything is ready for kickoff.
That's right. That includes, of course, keeping the lawn green and game day ready. So I know, how do you do that, right? Well, who knows but Dave the Garden Guy, of course. He's at State Farm Stadium this morning.
What up, Dave?
Cheerio.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, guys. Hey, take a look. We are State Farm Stadium, Arizona Cardinals training camp, and I have the man that does or takes care of this lawn. It is an incredible job. Andy, we've known each other a long time, and of course, you do a fantastic job. Tell us a little bit about this turf that we're actually standing on.
So this is our movable field tray. Field lives outside typically during the week and comes inside for our activities here for training camp practices or games or other grass activities. 100,000 square feet of Tifway 419 hybrid.
All natural, Tifway 419. Now, this hybrid turf that we're looking at right here, how often are you required to actually water something like this time of year?
So it really depends on hours spent inside, our cloud cover temperature, as you know, the evapotranspiration rate, so and opportunity. When we're using it as often as we are, it's just seizing opportunities where I can get an appropriate amount of water in here, where I know it's going to dry up to have a safe surface for next day's practice.
Perfect. And then, of course, the mowing is always critical. How often are you mowing this guy right now?
I'm mowing this every single day.
Every single day. Beautiful, beautiful operation. Now, we talked about it earlier. You think it gives them an advantage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're out there practicing all the time.
Yeah, you're playing in a dome with natural grass.
Okay, and there you go. And you can take a look at what it's at. Of course, we're on an actual platform here. This rolls in and out. Why don't we talk a little bit about how this rolls in and out of the actual stadium itself? What does it actually do?
So like I said, the entire surface lives outside typically when we're not using it, and we call it a field tray. There's 13 tracks with around 420 wheels that this rides in on with 76 1-horsepower motors. So when we need it, push a button, run it inside, and it lives indoors for us to use.
How long does it take to get inside?
A little over an hour.
A little over an hour. I'll tell you what. Hey, Scotty, I don't know if you're there. Scotty?
I'm here.
I want you to take a
Yeah,
look
I'm
at
here.
the shirt here I got on. Go ahead, take a look at that. You
I
see
love
that?
it.
It says Phoenix
Phoenix
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah, that is an old shirt. I got a little bit of history for you. At one time in 88 to 91, I was an actual water boy for the Cardinals.
Were you really?
That was a long time ago.
Oh.
I was. You know what? Little historical fact there. I was a water boy, loved it. We played over at the ASU Stadium at the time, but fantastic and fantastic experience at the time. So when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the watering system and the actual mechanics of how this field actually works. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about, 15, 20 minutes.
Dave, if I were you, I would up that story a little bit and say you used to be the quarterback.
Well, you know what? I could have been the quarterback. I actually threw the ball back and forth. I was a great receiver in my time, and there was
If
a
you
couple
don't mind
guys. In fact,
saying
in the
yourself.
next segment, I'll talk a little bit about it. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it. I was a good receiver.
All right, go
I
find
helped
a
those
football.
guys out.
Find a
Gloves and
football
all.
in our next hit. We're going to have you throw
I
it.
agree.
Okay.
We
You
gotta
know
see
what?
if you
Andy
can
and
throw
I
it.
are going to try it out.
Well, I want to see if you can even throw it 20, 25 yards.
I didn't say anything about throwing. I said about catching, dude. Not about throwing.
But
I
you
didn't
said you
tell
were
I
a
could throw.
quarterback. Now
All
he's
right.
changing his story
Put the ball.
here.
They have
No,
those,
that was Scotty. I said I was a receiver.
They have those. Okay,
I
they
was
have
the
those.
receiver.
They have those tire thing. The machine that shoots it out with the tires. Let me see if you can catch one of those. Those
Yeah.
things
Oh, when they're
come out of
going
there
really
so
hard.
fast.
Let me go try to find one here in a
All
few
right.
minutes. If Andy will let me run over.
Thanks, Dave.
This is going to be good.
Okay.
Of sports, guys, it's almost time for Cardinals football players and coaches. They're not the only ones hard at work already. Crews over at State Farm Stadium are making sure everything is ready for the first game, and that includes keeping the lawn nice and perfect. Dave, the garden guy, is over there at State Farm Stadium this morning. You're getting access to the field, Dave. Don't they know that you really will never help with the gardening?
You know what? I can't help them with the gardening, but we got one of the best experts out here. Of course, we're at State Farm Stadium. Andy Levy. Andy, you've been doing this for the Cardinals for how many years now?
Going on my 20th season.
And this is a real unique field. This is kind of what they call, a pan field? Or what is it exactly the term?
It's been termed a tray.
A tray. And so this is kind of a field that sits right on top of a lot of sand, and then there's a lot of moisture underneath it, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we'll irrigate typical to a normal football field. The only difference is once this field is moved outside, we've got to connect our irrigation main line and power lines for our valves.
So tell us a little bit about this field. You got a special type of grass here, don't you?
We've got a hybrid Bermuda grass, Tipway 419.
And how often are you mowing it this time of year?
This time of year, I'm mowing just about every day.
Okay. And you can take a look at this field. It is looking beautiful. How long does it take you to actually get it ready for the games?
Getting ready for the games, we're in all-day process, getting all the paint and all the lines out here for them.
Okay, now I found a little damage right over here. And you can take a look at right here, and you had a name for this. What are we looking at right there?
That's 6 points. That's the corner of the end zone. So.
That's a touchdown cut, right? You can take a look. Now, typically when you got, Arnold almost made a touchdown there. When you're actually repairing something like this, what do you typically do?
So we're filling that in with sand or a seed mix, depending on what time of year. This time of year, as we're in Bermuda grass, we're filling it with sand and making sure that we don't have any change of elevation in that divot.
Okay, so getting back to the mechanics of the field, you call it a kind of a pan field, but you actually roll it in and out. Describe what you're doing with this type of field.
So again, the advantage of this field is to be able to live outside in full sun without any shade structures or any damage when we have other activities in this stadium. So when we're not in use, when we don't have a training camp practice, a football game on this field, it lives outside, and then for days like this, when we have practice, we'll bring it inside,
and you roll it in, and you can see right out there. In fact, Arnold, just going out there, you can see it. It rolls out there into the sun, and then of course rolls back here in the stadium. I got to ask you, how fast is the roll?
we're a little over an hour.
Okay, a little over an hour. How many miles an hour?
Not many.
Not many. I read 7 miles an hour. I thought that was pretty fast, but I thought, it can't be that fast.
Maybe a little quick. We're not breaking any ground speed records, but again, for moving 19 million pounds, it's coming in at a clip.
Oh, it's kind of a raised bed type concept. One last question: how deep is this?
So we sit about 3 feet off the ground. A lot of that is steel and concrete for the tray itself. My growing medium is about 10 to 12 inches with drainage and sand.
Okay, well, great job. We're getting ready for that game. It's starting on August 8th. And, Sweet Pea and Javi, I got one other thing. They've decided to change up from typical tennis shoes. They're thinking about going with the Keen running boots.
Really?
There you go. That's the new.
Interesting.
There it is, yeah.
The new sponsorship
At one
deal.
time, I was a pretty good receiver. Yeah, I'm looking for one of those $60 million deals right now, so I was kind of doing a little bit of running around, and that was actually my cut right there. That's what they call the touchdown cut right there.
Hey, Dave, just so we know
Keen boots.
how they work, hey, can you take off running real quick? We want to see how fast they make you.
Run the pattern.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and run the pattern. Hold on.
right.
Here we
Dave,
go.
Dave. Woo, Dave.
Was that a cut? Was that?
No.
Arnold says no. Was
Now I
that
know
a
why
cut?
you're the
It's
garden
boots.
guy.
The boots are holding it back.
Gotta be the boots.
Not bad, though.
Yeah, stick
Gotta be-
the garden.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, listen, these are steel-toed. Bye, guys.